Test máy. Test máy.今天是星期五晚上了，所以我看也是大家休息的时候了，辛苦了一个星期。我看大部分的人明天都应该有假期吧，是吗？ I believe most of the people will have a holiday tomorrow, as I believe most companies are now having a 5 days work week. So this evening should be a relaxing time for most people. Yeah, so let's relax together by listening to some story sharing, some story that I'm sharing with you today. Okay, so I will just wait for a while for my other viewers to join in before I start today's session. Today's session will be on the sharing of one of the most famous persons in Singapore by the name of Kong Hee. He was a pastor. I believe he's still a pastor, but he's a more unique pastor in the sense that he has experienced some really controversial issues in life. Okay, so before I start, I also want to repeat this important point that whatever is being shared today, okay, whatever is shared today is solely for educational purposes only and holds no political and religious implication. Okay, what I'm going to share today is just to teach you on how we can interpret the birth charts of a religious leader in Singapore. I chose him for the reason that he is well known to many people in Singapore, and his life story is also rather interesting in the sense that he went through a lot of controversial issues in his life. Okay, so without further ado, I believe I will go on to first open his chart, okay, to share with you the chart makeup of Pastor Kong Hee. Okay. Okay, Pastor Kong Hee is born with a day master that is having the special formation of the Zhuang Wang Ge. I will explain to you why in just a while. Okay, this is Pastor Kong Hee's birth chart. He is born of a Jiawood day master sitting on Chen, and then the month pillar is that of Ren Shen, and the year pillar is that of Jia Chen, and the time pillar is that of Jia Zi. For those who are familiar with Bazi reading, will understand that there is a water combination formation within his earthly branches, namely the Shen Zi Chen, which forms a water combination formation. These water combination formations will further strengthen the strength of his day master. And given that he's of a Jiawood day master, having a lot of water elemental energy within his chart actually will increase the strength of his day master to an extent that he will have a special formation of the 状万格. What it means by 状万格, okay, let me write for you in Chinese. Okay, let me write for you in Chinese. Okay, in Bazi we have a special formation called the 状万格. This is a special formation in which the day master can only be strong, can only be strong. Okay, 状万格 is a special formation chart in Bazi reading. Not many people will have this kind of special formation chart. And those who have this kind of special formation chart will usually have a more interesting characteristics in terms of the development of their lives. They will face a lot of ups and downs, extreme ups and extreme down. Okay, yeah. Tong, thank you very much for joining me tonight. So basically, I'm just trying to share the birth chart of birth chart of Pastor Kong Hee. He was a pastor in Singapore, one of the largest churches in Singapore, called the City Harvest Church. And then, given that he has a special formation chart of the Zhuang Wangge of a Jia Wu Day Master with a water combination formation at the earthly branches, his day master can no longer accept other form of elements such as 相关食神 or 正财, 偏财, or that of the 正官偏官. Okay, he can only take the direct and indirect resource or the friends or the rock wealth factors for this kind of birth chart. And we can also understand that for those people who have such a birth chart formation will usually go through a lot of ups and downs in life. Why is that so? We can see that although he's a pastor, okay, he's a pastor in one of the biggest churches in Singapore, he actually have been accused of the mishandling of funds for the church to support his wife's career. And because of this problem, he has been accused and being convicted of criminal breach of trust for this handling of the misuse of the funds during the year close to 2015. Okay, so we can look at his chart again, having all these wood elements at the heavenly stems and with water combination formation at the earthly branches. We can actually realize that there are no output elements or this uh, hurting officer or 7 killings within his chart, which can only come to this conclusion that his day master is extremely strong and can not be will not be able to have other form of elements such as the fire elements, the earth elements. Okay, so let me draw for you. Let me draw this for you for illustration purpose. For someone who have a Jia, wood that is following the 状万格. What are the favorable elements for this kind of chart? Firstly, water, okay, will be the favorable elements for his chart. Secondly, wood. Okay, let me use a different color. Wood will be, okay, let me write in Chinese. Wood will be the second element that is possible. That can be used for someone who has a 专旺格 of the wood day master. Additionally, we may also consider metal. Okay, because metal will enhance the strength of the water day master. Hi, thank you for very much for joining me, Jason HWY. Welcome for being here with me tonight. Basically, I'm trying to explain the birth chart of Pastor Kong Hee tonight. Okay, I believe many of us know who is Pastor Kong Hee. He's the pastor of City Harvest Church, and because he has went through a lot of ups and downs in life, from being a pastor to being a prisoner, and there were actually great fluctuations in his life. Yes, Jason, thank you very much for being here. So actually, we can observe a lot of great ups and downs in throughout his life. Okay, how he has been able to be turned from a very holy person holding the leader position in church, which is actually the largest church in Singapore. But then he mishandled the funds due to the supporting of the singing career of his wife Ho Yao Shen, okay, Ho Yao Shen, and then uh, he which led to his downfall, and he became a prisoner. He was convicted of the criminal breach of trust, and we can actually analyze all these events within his birth chart. Okay, so I'm just trying to explain that he is of a day master that is extremely strong in strength, okay? Because there are actually many friends or Rockwell factors in his heavenly stems. First of all, we have Jia Wu in the heavenly stem, which is the year heavenly stem. Secondly, we have Ren water in the month heavenly stem. And thirdly, we have another Jia Wu in the our heavenly stem. Additionally, this Shen Chen will form a water combination formation, okay, according to the theory of Bazi. Okay, let me draw it out for you so that you'll be able to understand more clearly. Okay, when in terms of Bazi, when we have this Shen Chen, it will form a water combination formation. Okay, water combo. Okay, in Chinese we call it the 水局. And for someone who has a wood day master, this water will be the resource factor. Okay, this water combination formation will be the resource factor for the Jia wood day master. That is of a Yang Jia wood, and this will further enhance the strength of his day master to the extent that the he can only accept the water elemental energy and the wood elemental energy for his chart. Okay, so I hope you're able to understand what I'm saying. And then secondly, we have to look at his let's look at his earlier major destiny trend. Okay, all his early destiny trend was of the 人生癸酉, and following by Jia Xu and Yi Hai. All these are rather positive destiny trends for him. Actually, he came from a rather well-to-do family. I believe his father was a diamond dealer, and his mother was, if I'm not wrong, his mother was a lecturer or something. Let me double check on that. Okay, let me double check on that. I believe her mother, I'm not sure it can be found online, so just let me double check. Okay, Okay, I can't find it online, but I believe his father is a diamond dealer. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can find it here. So let me enlarge it for you. Okay, Kong is the fifth child of Kong Lang, a professional engineer, and To Po Ing, a diamond trader. All right. So basically, he came from a rather well-to-do family, given that his mother is a professional engineer and the mother is a diamond trader. Okay. And during his teenage years, he actually went to some good school also, like the Raffles Institution, and then Raffles Junior College, and then he proceeded to enrolled into National University of Singapore, having a Bachelor of Science in Computer and Information Sciences. Therefore, we can see that from his birth chart as well. We can analyze from his birth chart also his his earlier days are actually very auspicious in the sense that given that he's a Jiawu Day Master that is following the special formation of the Zhuang Wang Ge. Okay, Zhuang Wang Ge means that it can only be strong. Okay, all the elements within his chart and the major destiny trend has to support him. Okay, let me also explain in Chinese. Okay, Ching Ho Wu, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Yeah, so tonight basically I'm just doing a Bazi case study on our on this on this Pastor Kong Hee birth chart to show you why is it that he has gone through such great fluctuation in terms of his life development from being the leader of one of the or actually the largest church in Singapore and at the end how he ended up being a prisoner. Okay, so today's objective is to show you the 状万格, which is a special formation chart. Okay, so thank you for being with me here tonight. Okay, whatever is being shared today hold no religious or political implication. All right, it's just for the purpose of studying Bazi. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so we can see that all the way he from his younger days he was going through all the water and wood elemental energy trends. Okay, all the way till this 2009, all right, where he entered into a Ding and Chou destiny trend. And that's when he started experiencing all kinds of legal problems, all right. He actually started, okay, in the year 2010, the Office of the Commissioner of Charities and the Commercial Affairs Department of the Singapore Police began investigating the City Harvest Church, which included the founder, Pastor Kong Hee and his wife, Sun Ho. Okay, so let's look at Pastor. Okay, this is Sun Ho's chart. Okay, his wife. Okay, this is Pastor Kong Hee's wife. Okay, he's likewise of a special formation chart that is of the Jiawu Day Master. That is extremely strong. Okay, let's analyze her chart together. Her chart is having this Yi wood in the hour stem and month stem having this Yi wood, and then the year stem is likewise having the Ren water day master. And then this day her day master is sitting on Zhi. Okay, the hour pillar is high and then the year pillar is high. This Zhi and high will clash with each other and then will diminish the fire elements Shi here. So her entire church is likewise like Mr. Pastor Kong Hee that is following the special formation chart of the Jia Wu that is strong in strength that's of the Zhuang Wang Ge. All right. And looking at his earlier days, likewise, he came from a rather privileged background, given that her earlier days were all of the Jia and water elemental energy trend. Nonetheless, why is it that in the year 20 or this 2015, all right, that's when Pastor Kong Hee went into prison. Okay, he went into prison. Okay, so today we'll explain to you why and why is it that wealth is actually not a positive thing for some people. Okay, of course, a lot of us will desire great wealth to have a lot of money in our life. But from a Bazi's perspective, actually, not all people is suitable to become rich. For some birth chart, like for in the case of Pastor Kong Hee, wealth is actually a detrimental factor for his birth chart, and with the presence of wealth, actually will cause his downfall. So it will not be auspicious for all people to have wealth in our life, actually. All right. So let me also explain this in Chinese. OK，今天想说的东西呢，就是我们这个新加坡呢有一个叫做康熙的一个 pastor，就是一个牧师啦。他是我们在新加坡的一个最大的那个城市丰收教会里面的一个牧师。可是呢，我们大家都能够了解呢，他的人生经过了很多那种不同的上上下下啦，很多很大的起落哈。那我今天就是想让大家了解为什么呢？我们就是新加坡呢这个叫做康熙的牧师呢，为什么他的人生会有那么大的起落？而且呢，也想先说明呢，跟大家说明一下啦，今天所说的东西呢是没有宗教的一些含义在里面，也没有政治的一些含义在里面，所以呢，只是纯粹用一个八字的角度呢讲解为什么一个人的八字能够看得出他会进入去会犯官非，还有会坐牢，就是尤其是为了钱而犯官非和还有坐牢啦。好。也看到 Brandon 有在哦 ，Brandon 就谢谢你的观看。那今天的这个 live 啦，就是讲我们这个就是不是我们啦，就是这个城市丰收那个教会里面的那个牧师，为什么他的人生会要有那么大的起落？还有为什么呢？他会坐牢？为什么会从一个那么受尊重、被人respect 的一个牧师呢？突然间他进去坐牢了，为什么会这样子？其实从八字里面都是可以看得出的哦。所以呢，我再用华语讲解一次哦。今天我们看的这个牧师呢，这个康熙牧师呢，他的人生故事，为什么从一个住在圣淘沙的一个很有钱的人，变成一个住在那个樟宜那个监牢的一个人呢？为什么好好的从一个牧师，有那么多人尊敬他，可是到最后他变成了一个罪犯呢？其实这些都是可以从他的命盘里面看得出。那我再用华语讲解一次他的命盘哦，他的命局是什么样的？他是一个甲木日元的命主哈，甲木日元的命主。然后呢，因为他是壮旺格呢，所以呢只可以用水跟用木这个元素咯。好，他的命那个日元啊，这个是他的日元，因为他的日元很旺了，所以呢，他不能够再接受好像有东西去克他，或者有什么东西让他的日元能量更加低了哈。所以甲木的如果日元太旺，我们是要怎么样？是要让它更加的旺哦。所以呢，这是壮旺格的一个特性啦。所以它会需要水，又需要木。可以某些情况下呢，它也需要金。为什么呢？因为金能够生水哦。所以呢，我们看得到了，它的天干全部都是水跟木啊，在它的天干里面全部都是水跟木啊，对不对？再回去看的天干全部都是水跟木啊。好，然后它的地支也是生子辰画一个水局，它的地支也是生子辰画一个水局啊，所以我们可以了解啦，它的日元是太过旺了哈。我们八字里面有四种格局，一种格局呢叫做身弱，一种格局叫做身旺，一种格局叫做重格， 一种格局叫做状望格。当然也有这个叫做平命了哦，平命就是呢，它很综合的哦，所以呢，我也写下来英文了哈、哦。这个是weekday master， 这个是 strong day master。我是 DM 了哈，然后呢，这个是 moderate strength， 然后重格呢就是呢 extremely weak， 就是重格，然后转弯格就是 extremely strong。所以呢，今天呢，选这个 Pastor Kong Hee 的 birth chart 来讲解呢，并没有对什么宗教有一些偏见或者什么，其实是没有哦，完全是没有对其他的宗教有什么偏见。其实呢，基督教也是一个很好的宗教啦，哦，它也是教我们怎么样去善待别人，然后怎么样去牺牲自己，然后去好好关心身边的人啊，对不对？所以基督教其实也是一个很好的宗教。然后呢，其实呢，基督教呢本来呢，它也是有一个水木的一个元素的，因为你看哦，基督徒每次都是会他们不是会 baptize 嘛，对不对？他们去洗礼的时候都是用水的嘛，对不对？然后他们信的耶稣哦，他们每次就那个木的那个十字架，对不对？木的那个十字架就是呢，他们那个代表的宗教的代表的一个东西啦。那所以呢，基督教其实是水旺跟木旺的一个宗教。所以不管你是信哪一个宗教呢，每一个宗教其实都有自己的一个八字的元素在里面的。好，就好像基督教嘛，你看我们你看这个 Pastor Kong Hee 对不对？他为什么信基督教？因为他就是一个转旺格啊，一个转旺格木的转旺格啊，有没有看得到？就是一个水木相生的一个命局，它就是一个水木相生的命局啊。生己辰化成一个水局哦，生子辰化一个水局，然后这些地支都化了水了，然后天干就是一个壬水加强这个甲木的一个能量哦。所以呢，我就告诉你为什么基督教也是一个水木的一个宗教，因为 baptism 嘛，那个 baptism 是什么？就是他们每次都会洗礼，对不对？就是他们信耶稣啊，去做门徒的时候就会洗礼啊，那个 baptize 啊，他们 baptize 的那个就是 water 啊，就是那个 water elements 来的，这是代表基督教的哈、哦。然后还有什么？还有就是那个wooden cross 啊，wooden cross，那个 wooden cross 啊，就是那个耶稣钉死在十字架，那个 cross 的十字架，OK 十字架，那个 wooden cross，那个 wooden cross 就是一个 wood 来的，一个 wood element 来的。Okay, so to explain it, to explain in English, all right, the religion of Christianity is actually considered to be of the water and wood element. If we are to look at it from a Bazi's perspective, because baptism, which is a significant religious practice for the Christian, all right, actually is represented by the water element, all right. And then the wooden cross, which is where Jesus was crucified on, is of the wood element. Therefore, Christianity actually is belonging to the wood and water element. Thus, when we look back at Pastor Kong Hee's birth chart, given that he's of a extremely strong wood day master, which cannot be opposed by other elements such as fire or earth, he has become the leader of the largest church in Singapore. Okay, so it's no coincidence when we look at it from Bazi's perspective. Whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, whether you are Catholic, okay, all kinds of religions can be interpreted by the Bazi exological system of analysis. Yeah, Alan, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here tonight. So tonight's session is basically to do a case study from a Bazi's perspective on the birth chart of Pastor Kong Hee to tell you why he was like, although he was someone so high in terms of position, or he's such a great leader for his church, and why is it that he has become a prisoner at the end of the day? And these are all reflected by his Bazi chart, actually. Well, okay, if you look at the news, right? Okay, refer back to the news. Okay, his legal problem started in the year of 2010. All right, 2010. He was within the trend, major destiny trend of the Ding Chou, which is a fire destiny trend. Okay, and as I have mentioned earlier on, for someone who has an extremely strong day master following the special formation chart, okay, and with the Jia Yang wood as the day master, he can only have the water and wood element as the beneficial or favorite elements in terms of Bazi reading. All right, if he is having fire or earth elements, that will be the period of time whereby he will experience difficulties and hardship, especially caused by money issues. And I have also mentioned earlier on, from a Bazi perspective, actually not everyone is suitable to be wealthy. For some people, once they have uh, a large amount of wealth in their hands, okay, they will actually encounter problems and which will lead to their downfall. Such is the case of Pastor Kong Hee, who was the leader of the largest church in Singapore, who lived in Sentosa Cove, all right? And he actually, or even his church, right, bought the Suntec City stock, all right, of I think 310 billion dollars. Okay, they were able to raise such a large amount of money to buy stock in the Suntec City. Okay, let me check for you this information from Wikipedia. But I want to repeat once again that today's session has nothing to do with uh, passing comments on any religious belief. Okay, because all religions are good. It's just that some of us may use religion in the wrong way. Okay, so let me try to find you this piece of news whereby City Harvest Church was able to purchase the stock of Suntec City. Yeah, as we can see here, all right, let me enlarge it for you. Okay, City Harvest Church is a congregational member of the National Council of Churches of Singapore. Services are held at its church building in Jurong West, and rented hall space at Suntec International Conventional Center. Okay, they actually have bought the stock of Suntec City, all right? They actually invested 300 310 million at Suntec City as a form of investment. Okay, that's a very large sum of money for any organization. Okay, all right. So on 6th of March 2010, City Harvest Church announced that it had purchased a significant stake in Suntec Convention Center and will be using its facilities for church services. The project will cost an estimated 310 million. Okay, that's a lot of money, including shares acquisition, renovation, and rental costs. Church founder Kong Hee said in a statement that the move allows the church to move from let me enlarge. will allow the church to, okay, to move from it to move from a present expensive rental model to a more financially sustainable ownership model for the long run. Okay. Some brought up the point that as a registered charity, CHE's income expected to include profits and dividends from space rental and tunnels. This is in Sunday City in the future is non-taxable. Okay. Okay, so the church has clarified that the investment is indirect through a whole own subsidiary for the purpose of taxation and separate accounting. Questions surfaced among the public whether religious organizations which are registered as charities should be allowed to go into business using what are essential donors funds. All right, therefore we can see, right, the public has already started questioning whether City Harvest Church, right, was doing the right thing when they invested such a large amount of money to purchase the shares of Suntec City, and even including the rental operation of the certain rental space. All right. Okay, so we can see that wealth, okay, the wealth factor for Pastor Con's birth chart of the day master will be Earth. Okay, for those beginners who has never listened to Bazi before, let me introduce you to some basics because I saw a lot of new faces today. Okay, just in case you have never heard anything about Bazi before. Okay, so let me touch on this. For someone who has a Jia Wu day master, okay, someone who has a Jia Wu day master, okay, Jia Wu day master, Earth will be his wealth. Okay, Earth will be his wealth. And for this Pastor Conky's case, because he's of special formation chart, or that is extremely strong. Okay, his day master is extremely strong. Okay, extremely strong of the 状望格. What will happen if the Earth elemental energy appear in his chart? If this Earth elemental energy appear in his chart, it will actually affect the special formation of this 状望格, causing him to experience downfall. Okay, let's look at his chart. Okay, let me open his chart using the software. All right, this is Pastor Kong Hee's chart. And in the year 2015, he was actually sentenced to a few years imprisonment. Okay, a few years imprisonment. And let's investigate why is that so. Okay, let's investigate why is that so. Okay, in Bazi, right? Okay, in Bazi there's this rule that called that's called Xing. Okay, let me open a chart for you to let you have a look so you understand what I mean by that. Okay. Okay, just a moment as I open a chart. Okay, if you look at this chart, right, it says 辰戌丑未. Okay, 辰一个土局, 辰戌丑未, 会辰土局. In Bazi, this is a rule that applies to the earthly branches. 就是呢，在八字里面呢，辰戌丑未呢会成一个土局 ，OK， 它们叫做四个窗 ，they are the storages, alright, in terms of 八字 ，OK，OK， so let me explain in Chinese again, OK, I believe it will be easier for all to understand, OK， 就是呢，我们看我们这个康熙的那个墓室的那个八字呢，它是一个甲木日元，然后是一个状旺格。甲木日元状旺格就不可以有财在他的生命里面出现了，不可以有财，这个财土这个财我们就不可以有财在他的大运里面出现了不可以有财在大运出现。OK， 大运不能有财。 不可用财 ，OK， 因为它是转万格嘛，它这个是转万格嘛，哦 ，OK， 所以能够了解这一点了，对吗？希望你们都能够了解 ，OK。好了，那如果我们能够了解这一点呢，我们回去看他的命盘，他在这个2015年发生什么事情？你看这个2015年，就是我们看得到哈，我们能够看得到就是这个尾啊、丑啊，然后他的命盘里面就有这些辰在里面啊，那就会发生什么事情？OK， 还有一件事情啊，还有另外一个八字的 rule。OK，let me show you another 八字 rule。Okay, which explain why problems occurred during that year 2015 for him. Okay, this way, this Xu and this Chou, they will form a conflicting relationship. All right. The blue arrow, which is called a bullying punishment. All right, in English. OK， 就是呢，在八字里面呢，这个是一种刑来的哈。无丑啊，OK， 未丑是一个刑的关系来的 ，OK。所以我们也看到啊，在他的那个2015年发生什么事情？2015年就是有一个尾啊，有一个丑啊，所以就犯了刑了。OK， 他就犯了刑。刑我们在中文里面通常都是说，好像一些被判女的一些事情发生了，对不对？就是被人这样一种克制住的一种事情了，就是一种有刑科啦。我们就是说，这个丑未刑在2015年发生，也是他进入监狱的那个时候了哈。所以他是为了什么进入监狱？就是为了钱呐。这些丑啊跟尾啊，好都是都是土的那个元素来的嘛。然后他的命盘也有这些辰呐、都在一起的时候呢，就代表他是为了钱，还有女人 ，OK， 女人的一个假的一个玉人来说，也是代表土哈。OK， 我再解释一下，因为呢很多人没有读过八字呢，我也解释一下一些很基本的东西哈。就是呢，如果你是甲木日元的话哈，土是你的 wealth，OK。也是你的女人 ，OK，wife， alright， 就是呢if you are of a 甲午 day master， Earth will be your wealth and will be your wife, alright。he entered prison because what happened? He siphoned the money right from his church account into the singing career of his wife, which is He Yao Shen, right? He Yao Shen, okay. His wife, he supported his wife's singing career by channeling the church funds into sham bonds, all right. And then what happened? And then he committed the criminal breach of trust, okay, doing such a kind of siphoning of money from the church to the singing career of his wife, all right. So it can also be shown, all right, in the chart of He Yao Shen. In the year 2015, what happened? She also entered into the Chou, all right. If you can see from this chart here, he also entered the chart, the destiny trend of Chou. 就是呢，何耀生的大运呢，那时候呢，因为他也是转万格啊，他也是个甲木的转万格啊。然后那时候2015年之后发生什么事情？他也是走这个丑的运呢，这丑就是土的运呢，也是对他转万格来说是不好的。所以也是因为钱呐、因为钱呐、所以呢也是发生很多事情哈、所以看回去她的老公就是康熙这个牧师啦。2015年也是丑啊，也是走这个丑的这个这个怎么那个大运啊，而不是刚才告诉你嘛。我们回去看他的流年哦，就是流年也是未啊，丑未冲 ，OK， 我 hang 了这个 software，OK， 所以就是丑未冲，所以呢，那时候呢，他就是发生了那个因为钱财的关系啦，就让他坐牢了哈、因为钱财的关系就让他坐牢了哈、所以呢，让我 restart 那个 software 一下。 所以大家能够明白从八字的角度不管你是哪一个宗教的人物，也是可以用八字呢来判断你的那个人生的那个起起落落的都是走不开的所以八字是很厉害，就是因为呢，不管你是谁，总之你是人的话，他都可以算你的命，就是这样子。就算你是一个牧师或者是一个什么宗教领袖啦，都好，只要你是人出生，你出生是一个人的话只要你有出生的那个年月日时，就能够判断你一生的发展会怎么样，几时会赚到钱，几时又会坐牢，几时会知道你就算从牢里面出来也会看得到的。等一下我就告诉大家哈。So what I'm trying to say is that regardless of what religious beliefs you have, Bazi is able to analyze your birth chart and show the developments in your life. And when will be the periods whereby you will become wealthy, when will be the periods whereby you will experience obstacles. For instance, in the case of Pastor Kong he actually went into imprisonment. Okay, he went into prison, although he was a pastor of the largest church in Singapore and able to buy stocks in Suntec City that cost 310 millions of dollars. All right. But as to repeat again, I'm not passing any judgment as to the religious beliefs that anybody everyone has the freedom to believe in their own religion, and all religions are good. Okay, I totally support religious freedom, and I respect all religion. I respect Christianity. All right, I have nothing against other form of religion. I'm just saying that I'm here to teach you Bazi analysis today. And given that Kon Hee is someone that's well known to most Singaporeans, therefore I use him as an example to teach you some of the rules and philosophy governing this Bazi astrological analysis. All right, that is my objective today. Okay, so my software is restarted. So let me share screen again, and then we will reverse to the birth chart of Kong Hee again, right? Yeah. So we understand that, right? Okay, let's look at the news again. When did Pastor Kong uh, was arrested? Okay, when was he arrested? Okay, uh, okay, it was in 2015 that he was sentenced. All right, but the case actually started in 2010. Okay, but nonetheless, we will skip. Okay, and get to the main point. All right, the verdicts. Okay. Let's read from here. Trial and conviction. The trial of Kong Hee and the 5 other leaders commenced in May 2013 and was adjourned several times. There was a total of 142 days of hearings. The verdicts were the verdicts were announced on 21st of October 2015. Kong Hee and the other 5 leaders were found guilty of all charges. Sentencing was on 20th November 2015. Kong Hee received the highest sentence of the 8 years in prison. Following a request from the defendants, the judge agreed to defer the start of the sentences until 11th of January 2016. All right. Okay, let's look at his birth chart again because he was sentenced in 2015. All right, within the major destiny trend of Chou. All right. And okay, that was Wei as explained. So Wei clashes, all right, causing an increment in the strength of the Earth elemental energy. Okay, when two Earth elemental energy crashes and when they clash, they will actually it's very much like earthquake. Okay, during an earthquake, okay, everything will be fallen. Okay, the trees will be fallen, the houses will be fallen, everything will be gone. But at the end of the earthquake, only the earth will remain. All right, and such is the case of this Chou Wei Chong. Okay, Chou Wei Chong will enhance the strength of the earth elemental energy for his birth chart. And given that I have mentioned earlier on, all right, let's look at the drawing that I make. Right, given that he is of a Zhuang Wangge, which is of the extremely strong day master of the Jia wood, the earth element will be an inauspicious element which should not appear in his chart, all right? Because if something goes against the strength of his day master, it will bring about great disaster for his life. It will bring about great disaster for his life. Therefore, we should not have any any earth element within his chart. Likewise, there shouldn't be any fire because fire will further enhance the strength of the earth elemental energy for his chart. Okay, so let's remember this point. Hello, Hua Shan, thank you very much for joining me today. Yep, so today's lesson is basically touching on the birth chart of Pastor Kong Hee and why he was um and why he was able to achieve such great success, but at the end became a prisoner. All right, as mentioned earlier on, he's of an extremely strong day master that follows a special formation chart of the Zhuang Wangge, and during his younger days were all of the wood and water elemental major destiny trend. It's until this okay, even this Bing sitting on Zi, okay, this Zi water is able to diminish the Bing fire greatly. But since 2009 onwards, all right, police investigation were started on him and his church, okay, regarding the mishandling of church the mishandling of church funds to support his wife's career, singing career. And given that, as I have mentioned, right, for someone of a for someone who is of a Wu Day master, the earth is wealth and his wife. And Pastor Kong he cannot have these two factors within his chart, all right? Cannot have this earth and fire within his chart because they will cause a first effect for his extremely strong wood day master. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to explain today, using him as a case study. And I repeat again, I pass no judgments. I pass no judgments on any other religion. Actually, I believe all religions are good, especially okay, there's no especially, all religions are good. Okay, uh Christianity is also a very good religion, okay, which teaches people to be kind, to be loving, to be patient, and to be sacrificing for others, okay, which I totally believe and agree with their teachings as well, okay. I totally agree with the teachings of Christianity. But the purpose of today's sharing is to teach you Bazi philosophy that regardless of religions you are in, you will not be able to escape from the laws of the five elements. Okay, even if you are a pastor, even if you are a church pastor, your chart will still be under the influence of the five elements or the Bazi. Okay, so regardless who you are, your chart will be influenced by Bazi, and your chart can be analyzed by Bazi. Okay, so to cut it short, we move back to 2015, Chou Wei Chong, okay, because earlier on I have shown you the chart, okay, of this chart, okay. Firstly, 程序丑位 form a of 土局 ，OK， 程序楚位 form they form 一个土局，OK， 就是程序楚位会有一个土局了，它们都是四个窗 ，they are the four storages，alright，and then furthermore, the 尾丑序 will form a punishment relationship, or okay, punishment relationship. Therefore, we can see that in the year 2015, because of this earth elemental energy, which represents wealth, and his wife caused him to receive punishment, a legal punishment, because mishandled the church funds by channeling them to kind of like sham bonds, okay, or kind of like a shell company to support the singing career of Sun Ho, okay, or Ho Yao Sun. All right, and his imprisonment actually began only. Okay, let's look at his prison term. Okay, his sentencing was on the 20th of November 2015. All right, Kong Hee received the heaviest sentence of the six, 6 years in prison. Following a request from defendants, the judge agreed to defer the start of the sentencing until this 11th of January 2016. Okay, so let's look at 2016. The first half of 2016 is of the Bing fire, right? Which is likewise inauspicious for his chart. OK， 就是说呢，他开始那个被关在牢里面，就是在2016年的1月嘛。那时候是丙火啊，就是刚才已经讲解过了，它是不适合有丙火的，它的 chart 不可以有火，也不可以有土啊，因为它是壮旺格啊，对吗？记不记得我刚才所说的？它是一个壮旺格就是壮旺格，不可以有火，也不可以有土的 ，OK。所以我们看到什么？2016年的前半年，就是1月的时候呢，就是一个丙火的一个占据呢大多数的那个能量啊，就是火的能量啊，那一年2016年，然后丙火也冲他的人这个人是水是生他的日元的 ，OK。好的，所以我们就看得到为什么他那时候就被关在牢里面啊。Thus, we can actually observe right why he was in prison. Because in 2015, this Wei clashes with Chou, and then Chen, Chou, Wei form a kind of a very large earth elemental energy formation within his chart, which is inauspicious for him, given that he's of an extremely strong day master following the Zhuang Wang, all right? And in the first half of 2016 is of the Bing fire, which is likewise an inauspicious element for him, as I have explained in this chart, okay? For someone having an extremely strong day master, they cannot have the fire and earth element within his chart. And the earth and fire elements actually represents money and his wife. Thus, I mentioned earlier on, not all people is suitable to have great wealth in their life, all right? Even though all of us always kind of want to have become very wealthy, especially in the Singapore society, everyone wants to be rich, want to move up the social ladder and become very wealthy. But that is not suitable for everyone, especially for someone who have such kind of chart formation of a extremely strong day master. All right. For his case, right, Pastor Kong's case, right, he experienced problems mainly because of money and because of his wife, which are the earth elements in his chart, which are the inauspicious elements, right? And then coincidentally, his wife is also called what? Called Sun, the sun. All right, the sun. His wife's name is called Sun, which is fire. Okay. Then further enhances the strength of the earth elemental energy. All right. Okay. This is an inauspicious sign. Okay, a hidden inauspicious sign. Okay， 就是那何耀生，就是Pastor Kong 的太太，不是叫做生吗？就是那个太阳嘛，对不对？所以对他来说也是一个不好的一个，我们抓鸡就是我们这个叫做抓鸡啊，抓鸡不是那个，OK， 是这个叫做抓鸡，就是我们在玄学里面呢，很多东西我们可以 decode 它的 hidden meanings 所以呢，何耀生这个山呢，就是这个太阳，就是这个山呐。哎，我没有开那个 share screen，OK， 让我重复再讲一次。Okay, the sun, okay, which is Pastor Kong's wife name, okay, wife's name, okay. Let me write it here, okay, with a different color. Okay, Pastor Kong's wife， 就是叫做山啊，他就叫何耀山啊，人家都叫做山后，对不对？叫做山后，对不对？山后就是一个太阳啊。然后刚才不是说嘛 ，Pastor Kong 他不能够有火，不可能有土啊，不可以有火，也不可以有土啊。要华山 Yes, yeah, thank you very much for your comment. Yeah, he cannot have indirect wealth in his life, okay? Pastor Kong cannot have indirect wealth in his life because he's a special formation chart of the 庄万格. Thus, the indirect wealth is actually an inauspicious element for his chart. And therefore, I concluded that not everyone is suitable to have indirect wealth in their life. When they have indirect wealth in their life, they will get into problems, okay? For Pastor Kong's case, is legal problems, all right? And then yeah, thank you very much for your reply, and thank you very much for the comment. You are very correct. He is not suitable to have indirect wealth in his life, all right? And then Pastor Sun's wife is also called the sun, which is the 太阳. 太阳就是火啊，火就生土啊，对不对？所以呢，这个我们用这个抓鸡啦，我们这个抓鸡就是抓那个玄机啦。我们算命最重要呢，就是抓那个玄机。OK， 这个我们写这个叫做玄机。玄机就是很玄的那个玄啊，那个玄，玄机 ，OK， 所以这样就可以抓到那个玄机在哪里咯。他就是为了他的老婆啊才犯官非啊，对不对 ？He entered, I mean he experiences legal problems, right? Mostly because of his wife, and the wife is called Sun, right? So in terms of astrological reading, right? Ultimately, we will move on to the level of the how you call that to interpret the hidden to okay. Let me write this so that it will be easier for the beginners to understand. What is 抓 ？OK， 不是这个抓，好像是这个抓。OK， 抓鸡。好，我写繁体啦，因为有时候我写简体字我会写错了哈。OK， 所以呢这个字呢我解释一下给大家听，它是什么东西。OK， 我们在这个算命里面呢会有这个叫做抓鸡的东西。OK， 他是说那 decode 就是呢说一个 decode 的 hidden meanings。OK， decode the hidden meanings。哦，这个是一个比较高层次的一个算命的方法了，而是要看 experience， 要有一个 experience， 还有一个你要就是每一个派都学得很好了。要看到什么都看得到了，那到最后呢，你看什么都知道会有事情发生的啊。好像还有什么东西，那个 Suntec City 啊，他是因为买了那个 Suntec City 的股份之后才有问题的。Suntec City 这个sun也是一个太阳，对不对？也是一个太阳啊，然后也是生那个土啊，对吗？也是生这个土啊。因为它是木的庄万格，不可以有火，也不可以有土啊，所以他在他的生活里面也好像有很多 hidden 的一些 signals 哦，说他会犯这个官非哦。还有什么事情？他住在Sentosa，他住在Sentosa Cove 啊。Sentosa Cove 在哪里？在 South of Singapore 啊 ，South of Singapore， 对吧？南方就是火啊，南就是离啊，离卦，离卦就是火。他不适合住在南方啊，可是他偏偏就去 Sentosa Cove， 所以呢，他就是在搬去 Sentosa Cove 之后哦 ，Sentosa Cove 之后，他那边买了一个别墅哦。After Pastor Gong Hee moved to Sentosa Cove, which is the which is the south of Singapore of the Li Gua, which is of the fire elemental energy. He also entered this legal problem, right? Or started this legal problem. Okay, the police started investigating him. All right, so we can see that all these are the hidden signal that will show he will experience problems. All right, okay, the Sentosa Cove, the Suntec City, right? The sun here. All right, and his wife is of the what? Sun. Okay, Sun Ho. All right. Okay. All these are fire elemental energy, which enhances the strength of the earth elemental energy. And as explained earlier on, his is a extremely strong day master, which cannot handle the earth elemental energy. The earth elemental energy is inauspicious for him. All right. Thus, he has entered all these legal problems. All right. Yep. So he was released from prison. Okay, he was released from prison eventually, although he was sentenced to 8 years in jail. But he was released in 2019, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay, let me double check. He was released in 2019 August. Okay, and that was a year with the second half of the is of the high. High is able to strengthen the strength of the day master. Thus, he was able to be released from prison at the end of 2019, although he was initially sentenced to 8 years in jail. All right, because of this high, which once again strengthened the strength of his day master of the 专万格. All right, which is an auspicious element for him. 就是呢，因为他走到这个氦的这个元素呢，氦就是水来的啊。然后呢，引氦也是核哦，引氦和这个钾其实也是引来的，就是这个引就是这个引啦，引氦核哦，然后氦也是生这个甲木啊，那它的那个日元一被胜旺的话哦，就代表它会重获自由了。OK, it means that once he enters into this water elemental yearly trend, which enhances the strength of his day master, he once again experienced freedom. Therefore, he was released in the year 2019 second half, which is in the month of August. Okay. Okay. I actually downloaded the day he was released. Okay, so just let me show you. Okay, the day he was released is of the Hai, Zihai, Ren Shen, and Xing Mao, which are all relatively strong in the water elemental energy and the wood elemental energy. As you can see, all these, okay, earth enhancing metal, metal enhancing water, and water enhancing wood, okay, on the day itself. Okay, let's look at the day of his arrest again, or sentence again. It was in the year of Yi Wei, okay, in the month of Ding Hai, and of the day Xing Chou. Once again, Chou Wei Chong. Chou Wei clashes to form a punishing relationship. Thus, he received his punishment on that day or after that day, which is the first day after his sentencing, okay? Therefore, we can see all these are long coincidence, all right? All this can be explained in Bazi clearly, all right? Okay, so let's look at his birth chart again, all right? Okay, so now he is in the year 2022. We can actually start to observe that he has come back, like, having his Facebook videos and stuff like that, trying to be active again. Yep. I will say moving onwards, he will still have some positive trends, okay, moving onwards, okay. For example, from 2024, okay, now to 2024, and then during this Mao, once again, he may become active again, all right? All right, but as a closing statement, or to conclude what my sharing was about today, I'm just trying to show you that someone who has a day master that is extremely strong in strength should not encounter any wealth elemental energy trend in his birth chart, because that will bring about problems. Okay, it also means that not everyone is suitable to become wealthy. Perhaps he used his talents to serve the church and just focus on doing charity work, all right, or preaching the gospel, and don't care much about his wife's singing career. Maybe he would not have get into all these problems, right? So it would be good for people of such kind of 专万格 charts to take look, right? You are not suitable to have wealth in your life, all right? Or I'm okay. Let me rephrase. You are not suitable to experience the indirect or direct wealth trends in your life, or the direct resource or indirect resource trend within your life。就用华语再讲多一次呢，如果你是庄万格的就好像这个康熙的这个命局嘛，它是庄万格，然后呢，它是一个木的那个日元嘛，庄万格木的日元，就不可以再走财运，也不可以走印的运，就是火跟土的运了。如果你走这些运的话，你就会因为钱发生好像这些官司啊、官非的问题，也因为你的情人或者太太而犯这些官非啦，所以是非常不好的一个大运来的了。好，所以就是我们有一句话叫做什么？也是这个有句话叫做祸福无门啊，为人自招祸福无门为人自招。那我写出来因为我们学八字呢，并不只是说他有什么好，有什么不好，他的命有什么好，有什么不好，最重要是学它里面我们人生的道理啊，怎么样去面对人生，怎么样去处理好自己的人生我们每个人都以为有钱就好，有钱就好，就好像我们这个康熙的这个牧师嘛，如果他放弃钱，只管好自己的教会的发展，对吗？去做善事，然后不要推他的太太去和霍里活那边做一个歌手，对吗？如果他不做这些事情，可能他就可以避开这一个祸了祸福无门还有什么？为人自招。OK， 这句话呢，就是说呢，我们人生嘛，其实祸福是没有说特别是要去去到哪一个人的家里面的就是呢，很多人的那个祸跟福呢，都是自己找来的对不对？有时为了什么贪心就是因为贪，所以就发生事情了贪嗔痴嘛，对不对？佛教讲的三毒是什么？佛教讲的三毒有贪嗔痴，对吗？如果这里有佛教徒的话，也是可以帮我一下我们佛教就讲这贪，然后什么？那个嗔，还有什么东西？贪嗔痴所以我们就要离开这个贪嗔痴不要去执着财富，不要去执着好像有些女人就是犯这个奢奢是什么？奢是头上一把刀对不对？奢是头上一把刀，很多男人就是因为这个奢而出事情了，对不对？奢是头上一把刀对不对？就是Pastor Kong 也是为了他的女人Pastor Kong he 也是为了他的女人，为了这个身后而犯了那么多的错误而引起那么多的legal problems所以我们有一些命格要看一下，不是说不要去有老婆，不要去有女人就是说呢，我们不要太过去贪，不要去贪名利，不要去太过去贪好像一些那种虚名好像那个身后嘛，他去了 Horrido 现在回来了，也是一无所有对不对？都是一种就是虚无缥缈的东西他追求了什么？他唱的歌了红了，然后现在到最后也是没有什么也是好像浮云这样一切都像一个浮云对不对？所以我们不要去贪这些东西，尤其是呢， 你知道自己命格不能够贪这些东西的，好像 Pastor Kong 这种命格转旺格啊，转旺格就不可以贪财，也不可以贪车不可以贪财，不可以贪车所以如果你也有这种命格呢，要自己注意咯。That's what I tried to say was that if you know that you have this extremely strong birth chart day master that is extremely strong, you have to be cautious not to be too greedy over wealth and fame. For instance, the case of Pastor Kong he was too obsessed with money, financial achievement, and fame, reputation, for example. Thus, he finances his wife singing career in Hollywood by channeling the church funds and by setting up all these sham bonds and shell company, right? Which get him into all these legal problems. So what's the point? At the end of the day, he also have nothing after, become such a high position from a leader of the largest church in Singapore, having such high social position. Then he have nothing at the end of the day and went to prison. Okay, went to prison. Therefore, lot of us is suitable to have great wealth in our life. Okay, what I'm trying to share today. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say today. Okay, it's not that I'm trying to pass judgment on any form of religious belief. I pass no judgment on others' religious belief. I'm just saying that we should not be too greedy, especially if you have the extremely strong formation chart. All right, because there will be a lot of ups and downs in your life, especially okay, you will be able to achieve great success in your life, but once you enter the negative trend, for example, of the wealth and indirect wealth, or direct resource or indirect resource trends, you will experience downfall and you will fall from a very high place, which is not worth it. Okay, which is not worth it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say today. Okay, so remember, be contained, be satisfied with what we have. All right. Okay, learn to. Okay, what I can say is that don't be blinded. Okay, learn to want what we have. Okay, can you understand this point? Learn to want what we have rather than always having what we wanted. 就是我们人生嘛，常常都在想自己缺乏什么，然后就要去拿那些，去拥有那些东西，是不是这样子啊？对吗？不如我们去反过来想一下，去享受或者去珍惜我们已经有了的东西好像一个健康的身体，或者一个我们有盖，我们屋顶有一个盖能够保护我们，我们有一个家还有什么能够吃能够喝，那已经是很好的一个人生了，对吗？Learn to want what we have, okay? Learn to cherish the roof above our head, the food on our table, and cherish our healthy body. That we are able to walk, we are able to live normally, we are able to eat, and able to just live normally, okay? Is a form of blessing. Learn to want what we have rather than always having what we wanted, okay? So I will leave this sentence with you tonight and hope that you can ponder on it and have some reflection about this point. Okay, so that's all for my sharing today. Hopefully you have learned something, and do like and share my video. So once again, I just want to repeat this point. Okay, for today's sharing, whatever is being shared today is for educational purposes only and holds no political and religious implication. Okay, therefore I wish you a good evening and have a good weekend ahead.